And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful October the 28th at 11:01 in the morning. How are you doing? So, routines equal confidence. What does that mean? But, well, let's get into it. I think it's a pretty interesting thing. There's a fighter that once said ring rust. He hadn't been fighting in like 2 years. And he was a champion, and he came back, and he was saying it's all psychological. And he's 100% right. The thing is that if you do something just one time, okay, that's not necessarily significant aside from the fact that you are building, you have the potential now of building routine. If you do something twice, you've already established a mathematical pattern. You've already connected two lines. But once you've done something a third time, and then anytime after that, a fourth time, etc., you've now made a pattern. So you go from making an isolated moment, which is something great that you did, to making a connected line, all right? And then after that third point, and then fourth, etc., right? You've made a pattern. And with those patterns, you build confidence. And you can, with those routines, you know that you've been somewhere before. And just like this fighter, he hadn't fought in maybe 2 years. He came back, he beat the guy's ass, and he became champion again. I think it's a beautiful story. But I also think it's great. I know somebody that recently started exercising, and I told him that exact point. I told this individual that, what's great about building routine is that it builds confidence. But it's a trick, because as long as you've been there before, okay, there's no such thing as essentially coming back, right? Because you're just repeating the second step all over again. The first step is making that initial contact, making your initial action of whatever you're doing. The second step is repeating it. And then the third step is repeating the second one. And that's it. You just continue to repeat that second step, which is the third step, right? And then you have 4, 5, 8, 10, multiple days in a row, right? Now, part of the psychological trick also is that if you have multiple days of not doing something, that's where there is the potential for you to look on the other side of the coin and say, oh, if you look at your history, you haven't been doing it in so long. So you're basing your performance based off of negativity, based off of something. So whenever you've done something, you have something to compare. The problem is that the wrong way to think is that you're comparing it to something that you haven't done before, because you're past that point. You should be comparing it to something that you've already done before, okay? And that's exactly what he did. And that's exactly what I told a person that's now getting a routine, going into the gym and everything. And that's exactly what I tell myself, and I'm telling everybody who's listening now. If you have something in your life that you care about, and you've already, or you want to try it, do it once. And notice that that's a benchmark, okay? Then do it a second time, and just realize that second time that you've done it is the most important, because that's going to be your anchor from that point forward. The third time you do it, you're relaying back to that second experience, that second action, right? And you just repeat that third step. So essentially, you're living that second day all over and over again. But the thing is, you get better, you get more improved, you get more enhanced, and whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. Fill in the blank, okay? You always have the ability to be the best version of yourself when you left something off, okay? As compared to when you've taken time off. Provided by, okay, if it's something physical, your body is in that physical state. And you mentally, and that's what sports psychologists do a lot, right? There's this one sports psychologist that was saying that whenever you are playing good, if it's like a practice, if you're drilling, play long, continue to do it, because your body builds up these memories, these images of you doing great and doing excellent. So if you're supposed to practice for an hour and you're doing amazing, go an hour and a half. Go until you kind of like just hit a wall and you're just like, that's it. But go through it. You know what I mean? That's how you build excellence, Also, it's interesting, which is a whole other discussion I'm not going to get into, but it's just like opening the door, is that's also part of you're passionate about something and a professional, how you become a professional. Because being a professional essentially is doing something when you don't want to do it. It could be a working professional, or even better, if you're passionate about something. The example he gave, and I'm paraphrasing, was basically if you were in a rock group and you're like some Hall of Fame rock group like Aerosmith or whatever, right? and singing that song that he first sang 20 years ago, 20 years later, as though it's the first time he's singing it in front of this live stage, making it live, making it real. And that's being a professional. If that guy didn't want to do it, he does it because not just he's passionate about it, but more importantly, well, not more importantly, but in general, because he is a professional. All right. And I think that's what, when you take a work ethic of being a working professional and you combine it with being passionate towards something, no worlds can stop that, you know. So anyway, I really wanted to talk about this routine thing because I'm such a math nerd, and it really is true. You can only essentially really do anything the first time once, really, right? So once you've done it twice, you've connected two dots, and you've made, it's not a pattern. It's not a pattern, okay? Because a pattern repeats a secondary step, essentially, right? So, yeah, once you've done something a third time, you're repeating that second step, you know? So, anyway. I hope maybe some people, if not everybody, got something out of this. I always try to have all the discussions be either, you know, maybe it's motivational, but definitely psychological, because it really does make you elevate yourself. There's a reason why people that are the world's best have sports psychologists. It's so that they can hit that baseball and not be complacent. It's so the sniper can shoot that shot and realize that he can look at all of his prior history, and if he had a break, he can rely to his last greatest shot. You know what I mean? Just repeating that over and over again. So anyway, that being mentioned, everybody have a beautiful day. I'm Benja Welldone as always. Check me out. Peace.